Hi, Yves from Pre-Made magazine here with the fantastic Natasha Briscoe from Arise and Shine Cosmetics. Hi there. Thank you for joining me in my studio bathroom. As you may or may not know, I am going through a hair transition, going back to my natural hair state for the second time. But this time when I do it, I want to make sure that I do it right and my hair's healthy and I get all the advice that I need. I met Natasha a couple of weeks ago at a hair event, and in the 5 minutes that I was with her on her stall, she gave me so much knowledge and information about how to care for my natural hair. I just wanted more, so I invited her down to have a word with me, and I thought, why not share that with the Pre-Made family? So thank you, Natasha, for joining me.
Oh, it's a pleasure. It's been nice talking with you.
I did a little bit of research before you were coming because I was rather impressed that you set up your own cosmetics company and hair cosmetics company. As we know, it is a massive market. And you decided to do that in 2008. But what was the motivation for you setting up your own company?
I started because my son, he was lactose intolerant, and I had to be very mindful of the food he was eating, so I had to read the labels of everything that I was giving to him. And I found that I was reading so many ingredients on the labels in the hair shop that I noticed that they were just full of rubbish. Lanolin and mineral oils and things that didn't help us. So
tell me more. Lanolin, mineral
lanolin
oil?
is the oil that the sheep uses to moisturise its wool.
So lanolin, they create that naturally?
It naturally.
Okay.
And I just thought, do I really like the idea of using sheep oils or sheep? Nah, I didn't feel happy with that, and I didn't see that it was really going to do much for my hair. From a healthy point of view, it was just that. And mineral oil, minerals are good, as we know, we need our minerals, but it's better to take minerals internally for our hair. So it wasn't doing anything but clogging my pores. So I decided to go and get some training and learn how to make natural hair products professionally so that I could make them for me and my children, and that's what I did.
Fantastic. So you have a range of hair products, but you also do hair education. So that's why I've brought you in today to educate me and the Pre-Made family a little bit more about that, managing their hair. I know there are a lot of bloggers out there that are doing it, but they're talking from their own hair's perspective. But obviously, as someone that's been trained and has studied hair, you can do it from a wider perspective. But before we go into that, as I mentioned before, I'm transitioning. Previously, this is my second time transitioning. I had natural hair. I've realised I've done it all backwards. I had natural hair for about 11 years after, as a child, going through the curly perm and the straightener and then the relaxer. You know, we've been through, we've been through it all. And then about 2000, I was pregnant. I decided to transition for the first time. Didn't quite know what I was doing. There was less education about it, and I did it, and I must admit that in a couple of days I looked a bit crazy. I'm not going to admit, but I think I had license being pregnant. You can get away with murder when you're pregnant. But this time, and then about 2011, I got really tired and frustrated with my hair. I think I was having a lot of problems at work, not problems, but a lot to do with at work. It's very stressful, and I just decided to relax my hair again. And I think at that time everyone was jumped on the embrace your hair routine, which is fantastic now, because now I'm in the mind to go back natural. There's lots of information around, but I want to make sure. I found that there's a lot of conflicting information, so I want to know what's right. But also over the last 6 months I've had a lot of anxiety. So what would you advise people that are thinking about transitioning, but they're thinking about what other people will say, what will happen at work? How am I going to cope with my natural hair? You know, dealing with that anxiety and stress that they may be causing themselves.
I think it starts with loving yourself. Whatever you decide to do, once you're comfortable with yourself and you know that, okay, I'm happy, I feel that this looks good, whatever people say shouldn't matter. I mean, obviously, if you've got a good friend, your good friend can say, you know, that doesn't look good.
If they're a good friend,
if
you're a good friend,
you will tell your friends. But I think that it's about honesty and being humble enough to receive good constructive criticism, but also recognising this is the hair that I've been given, God has given to me. So since this is my hair, I need to do my part to make sure that I look after it and embracing it. I think it starts with the mindset. This is what I have. It's like with your children.
Yes.
You get your children, you don't choose them,
They
come, and whatever they're like, they're your children. You have to love them, and I think it's the same with your hair. You have to
just have to accept it and learn to deal with it and love it.
Yeah, and I think as we continue, we will find, oh, my hair works well with this product. My hair works well with this one. This one doesn't really agree with my hair, so I'm not gonna choose to use that. So I think it's a journey of trial and error initially with transitioning, and then sticking to what works for you. I meet many people, and when I meet them, they might come and say, oh, I'm using this and it works, but what have you got to sell? And I say, if you've got something that works, why do you need to buy my product? As your mum said, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And that's I think something that we really do need to consider. Why? Why do we have 20 products on the dressing table if we've got something that works?
So transitioning, find a product that matches your hair, your hair type. And within, I'm sure, the various different hair types, there are different textures and techniques and things that will work with each one. So sort of like when you're thinking about finding out the products that would suit you, kind of like, but there must be a staple hair care routine that people with natural hair or transitioning as advised to go through. What would you say?
Okay, so there are a few things that I would definitely consider if I was transitioning. One of them would be maintaining moisture. It is so important that we moisturize our hair. And this is something that I share in my seminars quite a lot. The importance of moisturising. Pre-pooing is something.
What's a pre-poo?
So a pre-poo is when you pre, as in before shampooing.
Okay.
So you add an oil to your hair.
And can it be any type of oil?
Coconut, olive oil. It can sit on the hair.
Argan oil?
You can add any oil. Coconut and olive oil are fine.
Okay.
I mean, argan oil is a bit more expensive.
Right.
So
okay.
if
So
you
it doesn't
can
have to
find
be
something that's not going to be too expensive, then that will work. So you can add that to the hair maybe for about 30 minutes before you actually wash the hair. And what that does is it helps reduce the amount of water that enters the hair.
Okay.
So it helps to reduce the amount of swelling of the hair strands. And as a result, the hair is less likely to easily be damaged. So you want to protect the hair while it's in this vulnerable state. And I think transitioning, especially at the line where the natural hair meets the processed hair, that is where you really want to make sure that the hair is protected.
So that's why, hairdressers in the good old days were like, you need to cut your hair off because it's going to break anyway, because they wasn't putting that barrier and protection.
Yeah, and I also feel that there's this big thing about the big chop. The big chop is not really necessary.
Okay.
You can trim until you are comfortable enough to do maybe a smaller chop or braid until you're ready, and then just trim off each end every 6 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever you feel comfortable with.
Such a relief, because I went to an event and I asked the same question and they told me just chop it off, and I felt my body fill with anxiety and fear.
Oh no.
So as long as what you're saying is, as long as you care for your hair, you do your pre-poo. Is there any other?
Well, there are. I mean, definitely deep conditioning. I think that is something that we need to be doing anyway. When you wash your hair, deep condition it. And I find that for those who do it maybe once or twice every month, deep condition, and maybe for those doing it every 3 or 4 times a week, you might not need to do such a deep conditioning.
Right.
But I find that when you do a deep conditioning where you use a proper, not just your regular conditioner, but a product that is specifically made for deep conditioning to penetrate the hair layers and add that moisture to the inner layers of the hair is more likely to be strengthened and less likely to break. So
just so I've got it right, we pre-poo for about 30 minutes beforehand. And then we can use shampoo and wash. And
that should be a shampoo without sulfates. The sulfates are a harsh detergent that strips the hair. And
so
it leaves the hair
just
very
taking the
dry.
coconut or the oil off the hair.
Well, most of it. And it will also leave the hair very, very dry.
Right, okay.
So you want to reduce the dryness. So there are several shampoos that have no sulfates in them. And that's something that I would recommend to many people who are transitioning, avoid the sulfate shampoos. Then I would do my various treatments. I love apple cider vinegar, so after I've washed my hair, I like to do that just to help clarify my scalp. That could be one.
What does apple cider? So pre-poo, shampoo, and then apple cider vinegar.
You can use an apple cider vinegar just to do a clarifying, a light, because it doesn't shift everything, but just enough to just remove the excess build-up off the scalp. And I love it. It just leaves my hair so well conditioned. It leaves it feeling squeaky clean. For those who have tried it, I'm sure they can testify to the apple cider vinegar. So if you choose not to, that's completely down to you. You could skip that stage because you'd only need to do that once a month anyway. Deep treatment, a deep conditioning treatment, that is essential. As I mentioned before, it penetrates the hair layers and helps to bring moisture to the hair. And then once a month, protein treatments, because you want the protein on the hair. Hair is a protein, and when you have any damage or any areas of weakness, that protein treatment acts as a plaster to sort of patch up the hair. So a good protein treatment. So
for every wash that you do, how often would you say? Every
once
2
a month for protein treatment.
Would you say kind of like in terms of a wash?
Yeah.
Once a week, twice, every 2 weeks?
I think everyone's hair is different.
Okay.
There are some people and they wash their hair 2 or 3 times a week. I've met a few trichologists who say, you know, we should be washing our hair more than once a month, maybe a few times a week. For myself, I find that if I don't wash my hair every 2 weeks, I find a build-up. But that's just the way my hair is.
And as you said, you've got to find the rhythm for your hair.
So if 2 weeks goes, it's too long. 2 weeks, I need to wash my hair. So I say, do your own.
Yes, find your own regime.
Find your own. Some people do it 3 times a week.
I haven't got time for that, unfortunately.
I am not that person either. So 2 weeks works for me. Yeah.
Any other things that we should be doing? Deep conditioning, protein
treatment. Some people like to do co-washing, but I have a problem with co-washing.
Yeah, I've heard about co-washing. I was wondering, because a lot of bloggers, they feel that people know what they're talking about, but I was sat there going, what's a co-wash?
Right, a co-wash is when you use a detergent, a conditioner to wash your hair instead of a shampoo, which I find is the detergent. So
that doesn't make sense though, because then the hair's not clean.
That's how I feel about it. I mean, from a scientific point of view, a conditioner closes the outer layer of the hair. Shampoos lift it up so that the hair can be cleaned, and the conditioner's job is to close it, which is why the hair feels so silky after it's been washed. The flaps have been closed back down on the hair's surface. Personally, I think of washing my hair when it comes to co-washing like washing my clothes. I'm not going to wash my clothes in fabric conditioner.
That's just making them feel soft.
I'm not going to do it.
Making them feel soft and smelling good.
Smells nice, that's what it does, but I don't feel that it lifts the dirt. So although a lot of people are very happy about using conditioners, perhaps because they're in kitchens and they're getting a lot of sweat and maybe they work out quite a lot, I still feel that they're not washing the hair, and it's adding the water, adding whatever the hair might like, but I feel that in order to clean the hair, you do need to use a proper shampoo. And I would also say your scalp is an extension of your face. It's your skin. Absolutely. So if you're going to wash your face every day, I think it is fair to wash your scalp more often than not. And using a proper cleansing product.
Okay. I can see you're looking into my hair.
I find that I do that. I go around looking at people's hairs. I don't know what's wrong. It's because I love hair. I love the study of it. I love looking at it.
I love looking at yours, and that's why I'm here. I was stood there going, I want that lady's hair. So I know, I just wanted to find out a little bit more about your products.
Can I just share one other thing?
Of course, please do.
Protective hairstyles. I think that is a very important thing with transitioning as well. I mean, minimalising the amount of brushing and combing because the hair's already in a vulnerable state. And protective hairstyles, that's a definite.
Okie dokie. So you will, because I've never been one that's worn weaves. I think I had a bit of bonding. Do you remember bonding back in the days?
Yes.
I had a strip of bonding when I was doing some modelling, and that was that's all I've had. So I've been very much, this is my own natural hair.
Right.
This is, or my natural hair that's come out of my scalp rather than being my natural hair state.
Yeah.
So I didn't really want to wear weaves or anything like that. So is it just because, I'm naive to even the protective hairstyling?
Right.
Because I've always it's always my hair that's on my head has always been grown out of my scalp. So
Okay.
is it just weaves? And I've heard things about crochet. Obviously, I know about plaits.
Yeah.
What would you say is the best protective style for?
When I was doing the transitioning period, I went with basic K-Mos. But at the time, I didn't have the amount of knowledge that I have today, and I found that K-Mos worked for me because I was able to add the moisture to my hair. I find when people wear wigs and weaves, they tend to forget about what's really going on underneath.
And there's a lot of sweat going on.
And then the hair, you find it might be a good length, but the condition of the hair is not the best because it's been neglected.
So you just had K-Mos going back? Was there extensions in them?
No, I had your nice K-Mo hair.
Oh, just your braids are going. Yeah.
I had all of that going on, and but K-Mos is one. You can also do your, I mean, I also went into Ghana braids, which I liked, but you have to find a hairdresser who's not going to pull at the hairline.
Well, yeah, I mean, that, you know, I keep on talking about the anxiety. I'm talking to some of my girlfriends, and one of them said that, you know, she's transitioning, sat in the hairdressers, and she was almost crying like she was 5 years old between their mother's legs because they were pulling it. They were. So
I think our hairdressers need education as well. If you comb the hair with a fine-tooth comb, you're going to damage it. And I've seen that, and I've cringed in many salons where I'm like, oh my gosh, she's using a fine-tooth comb to comb. Yeah, we need to really try and get the message out to some of the hairdressers who perhaps haven't had training. And so Ghana braids work for me. My hairline stayed intact.
That's what I'm fearful
and I
as well.
think it's also the products that I've been putting on there, and also because I had spoken to the hairdresser. If it was too tight, I had said crochet braids is great because it's quick for those who don't like to sit there for ages, and it doesn't pull so much on the hair. Again, it's down to the hairdresser. What else is there? Your twist out, your braid outs. I went into doing braid outs. I plait my hair, and then I would just take it out the next day, and it was nice. Because
that's what I'm doing at the moment.
Yeah, and it works. And my hair grew as a result because I wasn't needing to be constantly brushing and combing and styling. And I find also that when we do a lot of updos, the hair isn't able to grow as much. So the times when I put my hair in a protective style, I find that, oh, okay, it's just grown. It just grows so much quicker.
So it has room to
I suppose
breathe
it's
and
like
grow.
locks, isn't it? When you have locks, your hair is able to grow. So
you've spoken about some of the styles, etc. And when we met, you spoke to me about some of your products. I just wanted to find out a little bit more about those, and sort of like tip into. I noticed there's a nice little beauty case over there. Maybe tip into your little beauty case and see what you've bought.
So these are my actual products that I use. We take them out. So this is my actual personal little supply that I've taken off my chest of drawers.
No problem.
So where shall I start? My hairbrush.
Your hairbrush looks like that. That looks like it's a very well-loved hairbrush.
It was my hairbrush from I was a little girl.
Oh,
this was the brush that my mum bought. I had the red, my sister had the yellow.
Oh, did you use it as a microphone?
This was my mic, yeah. This
you
was
know
my mic, yeah. I had this, or it would be the remote control.
Of course, the remote control.
This was my mic. This was my little brush. It's been through the wars, but it's still been used, and nothing's better than this brush.
I've got the same blue hair comb that I had from when I was, well, my mum had from when I was about 5. I think I think I kind of borrowed it from her. It's even got a little wedge, a little kink in it where the hot comb lays on it, and
memories. That's evidence of that era.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So this is my brush, and then I've got my notorious white tooth comb, which I use when I wash my hair. This is the one that I use if I need to use it for daily styling. This is my personal stuff. So those are those.
So these are essentials that you should have. Dealing with natural hair.
Those
nice
are my
brush and your white tooth comb.
When it comes to styling my hair, my spritz. I love this spritz because it softens and moisturizes my hair. I start with my hair in plaits under a satin or silk scarf, and then the first thing I do, this is my morning. First thing I do, take off the scarf and spritz the ends of each of my plaits. And then I will add a little bit of my moisturizing product, just to the very end. So that's this one here.
Let's have a look at this for everybody. this Arise and Shine Rosemary and Sage Spritz. Don't know if you can see that.
Yeah. So that's what I do first thing, spritz the ends of my hair. And then I will add just a little moisturising product alongside it, as just at the very tips.
Okay.
And then occasionally I'd run it through the plait so that the hair has a nice sheen when I do take it out of the plait.
So is this, can I do you
Yeah,
mind?
please, open it up.
This is sheer butter with coconut infused with rosemary.
Yeah, so it's quite dug out. I use it on my hair, I use it on my skin. And as I said, this is what I use every day. So I put that in my hair, and then I pull out my plaits. You'll see the little crinkle in the plaits, and if I choose, I can just style. There's times I will add my little...
Okay, so you don't comb it?
I didn't today.
You just pin it?
I just pinned it up, and that was it. Sometimes
That's so sophisticated.
Simple. Very simple. And the hair's moist. It's not been challenged. It's not been pulled. It's not been tugged. And it's in good
So
condition.
you comb it at night when you're plaiting it?
Yes, that's when I will do it, so that I keep the hair, the moisture will be able to pass through, the natural oils can pass through, and that's it. When I wake up in the morning, I know that the plait will be a fair plait, and that's it.
Because what I've been doing, I've been plaiting, like plaiting it of night, and then in the morning just undoing it and running my fingers through it.
Yeah, that will be fine as well. I mean, the less manipulation, the better. So finger combing is good as well. The other product I will use, which isn't actually in here, and that's because the lid was playing about when I was travelling, is my amla oil. Okay. I will just put the amla oil through the hair. And
can you use that to pre-poo in terms of... You
can do, but I always find a cheaper oil that will do the job, you know? But the amla oil can be used for that. I would also just run it through my hair. It's brilliant because it darkens greys, it stimulates growth, it helps to reduce hair fall,
I'm gonna have to get
strengthens the follicle. So that's the amla oil, which I also sell. And after that, I
put these on here, just see if we can get them. Can we get them lifted up a little bit to show these fabulous. So we've got rosemary and sage, which is quite rosemary is quite a how can I describe it? Let me go in. Let's try and do my aromatherapy.
Okay.
I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm being so clumsy today. Dropped my clipboard. Now I'm dropping the lid. It's very natural, very.
Yeah, the rosemary smell is. I find it very soothing. It's a very warming smell to me. And rosemary is good for hair because it stimulates growth. It conditions, so it closes the outer layer of the hair, and it helps to reduce greys, which some people want. And I just find that it's a lovely, refreshing product. You can use the actual herb to drink as a tea.
Okay, yes, my mum does
helps stimulate the hair from inside. So anybody who might want to increase growth from inside, rosemary is a good one. And it tastes nice, it's very soothing, it helps put you to sleep if you're struggling to rest. And you can also use it as a final rinse.
Oh!
Yeah, so you can just boil the kettle, that's what you do. Boil the kettle, put a little bit of rosemary, maybe just a handful of rosemary in some water, pour in a jug, pour the hot water in a jug, cover it for a bit, let it cool down.
Infuse, yeah,
let it infuse, you know about aromatherapy. And then just wash your hair, final rinse, the rosemary and your
fantastic. Okie dokie. I saw some other bits and bobs in there.
Yeah, well I have my cayenne cream. This particular one I love because this is my go-to for anything. If I have a skin rash, some scar, if I've eaten too much chocolate and I see that my skin's not happy with it, then this is the one that goes on. And it just brings so much healing, and it speeds up any healing that I've seen. Many people with different problems with their skins use it, and I'm like, wow, this product is really good. When I see the quick results, I think that's what astounds me the most. The ingredients are fantastic. I don't compromise when it comes to the different things that I use on my skin and in my children and what I do. So the cocoa butter, the neem, the red clover, the cayenne. A lot of people think that cayenne is just for cooking, but it is a medicinal herb, and it does help with open wounds and increasing the healing of any scars that people may have. So plus it's good for high blood pressure. It's good for a number of things.
Fantastic.
That's my skin product there.
the roses. That's the same one we've got there.
This one is one that my daughter uses, and I've brought it along because this one has peppermint and avocado oil in there. So I like this particular one.
So this is more like a grease.
This one is almost like your Dax replacement, this one, I would say. I love it. You can have a feel of it.
Do you mind?
Yeah.
Have a dip in there.
Yeah, I mean, this is the one that I use, so it won't be going to anyone. And I love it because I find that it has helped to improve the scalp. It's not thick and clammy.
Quite light,
so you'll find that
that
it will be on the hair, it will soften the hair, it will help with growth. A lot of people who have used it have found that their bald patches
have reduced.
The hair's grown back.
Oh wow!
So I've had a lot of good response from that. So and that one's also made with a rosemary and jojoba infusion, which is very good for stimulating growth in the hair.
They smell really, really nice, but not overpowering.
Yeah, it's the peppermint oil in there that you're smelling as well, which stimulates the hair. So
fantastic.
Yeah.
So routine: spritz.
Yeah. Amla oil.
Amla oil.
Which isn't here right now.
Don't have it, but they'll be in the picture below.
Yeah.
And then either a rosemary infusion with shea butter and coconut. Here. Or, which is more of a
strengthening,
growth. I can't get my words out. To strengthen and stimulate growth would be the rosemary infused avocado oil and peppermint. So 3 fantastic products for you to use if you so wish.
4 if you include the amla.
Oh, 4 fantastic products that you can use. Okay, let me put them up because I've got a few more questions for you. You're a businesswoman. You've been running your business for nearly 10 years.
Oh gosh,
next year
it's
will
gone
be 10
so
years.
quick. I was starting with my kids in the market or whatever event we went to with our stands, and to think that they're so big now, they don't even come to me with me to events.
I've done that now, I don't want to do it anymore. But I mean, what type of challenges did you face? I mean, I've set up and run businesses, I've shut businesses down, I've been employed, self-employed, freelance. What challenges are you facing, or did you face when you were setting up your business?
Well, I started the business because initially the products were for me and my children, but I started the business because I homeschooled my son at the time, my son and my daughter, and I wanted to be at home and make a living while I was at home with him. And I think the biggest challenge that I faced was balancing home and business. Work-life balance. That's what it was.
I hear you.
Because when you start, you get so excited. You think, oh wow, this is good. This is looking the way I want it to look. And then you get tempted to stay on the internet a bit longer, and you're thinking, oh, I've got to go and cook. Let me go and sort out the food, or let me go and read a book, or what have you with them who are, mummy. So I think that was the biggest challenge, learning my family first. Yeah. My family first, my children first. At the end of the day,
you're doing it for your family.
That's right. I could bring in money home is one thing, but spending that quality time with them is another. And I think that has been the biggest lesson that I've learned over my goodness, almost 10 years.
Almost 10 years. Yeah, I hear you, because I think that when I decided to relax my hair again, I was struggling with that work-life balance and trying to keep the business afloat, which meant I needed to put more hours into it, and also, my son was then 11 and he was going into secondary school. It was kind of like
juggling everything. Yeah.
And then I was like, I haven't got time for my hair. Put the relaxer, put the relaxer. It seems silly now, but at the time.
But it is real, and I think it's sometimes overlooked. You turn up, you look smart, you got your nice suit, your hair's done, and nobody knows the crazy journey
that you've left behind.
You've just gone through to get to a certain place. So I think that's the biggest challenge, and I think as a woman going into business, I think I meet so many other women who go through the same things, and you see them and you're like, oh, I wonder what she's left behind, because she's like, oh, I'm here. Yeah. So that's, I think, the biggest challenge. That is definitely the biggest challenge.
Okay. Another question for another conversation was, how do you overcome that? But we'll leave that one on the back burner for now. But we've spoken about your products, we've spoken about your business, you've given me some great advice, and the pre-May listeners some great advice about how to care for their hair when they're then transitioning. But also, I think that you gave some really good, great impartial advice in terms of your products may not be right. It may be another brand, but once you find it, stick with it,
yeah.
Unless it's no longer working. But I know that you also organise events, and you speak at a lot of events, and the education side of things is a great passion of yours. Where can people come and find out more about Arise and Shine Cosmetics and the events that you do?
Okay, I have a website, which is ariseandshinecosmetics.co.uk. I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. Anybody who comes to any of the seminars that I do, I take their details down, and I will send out, I won't bombard people, but I will send out the occasional, we've got this event coming up. I love doing the seminars. For those who don't know, the seminars are